Good afternoon, everybody. I am really, really pleased, and good morning to wherever you are. Perhaps it's good evening for you. So wherever you're joining from around the world, I'm really, really pleased to welcome you to the Meet the Mentors session. What does that mean? Well, we are hosting a very interesting prize, the Julius Baer Next Generation Art Prize. And here with me today, I have three of the amazing, inspiring mentors that are going to be on this program. We have Ina Conradi, we have Chao Jiaxing, and we have Uni Krishna Damodaran. And today we're going to be diving in with them, learning a little bit about how did they get into the digital art space? And maybe perhaps some little tips and tricks along the way about your own career path and your own journey as you see it going into this digital art world. So I'm just going to just dive in because we don't have very much time today, unfortunately. We want to leave enough time for your questions and answers at the end. So I'm going to dive in with Ina. So Ina, as an educator, what have you observed about aspiring digital and mixed media artist students in recent years?
Hello, yes, I have been teaching at ADM, School of Art Design and Media at NTU for the last 17 years. So what I have observed that maybe one of the most important things is that students don't lose sight of the fact that it is not just a matter of being able to use various digital tools. I think we are focusing to help students become critical thinkers who can put together various ideas and make art that has meaning in the world that's beyond just themselves. So, of course, it's easy to get caught up in technology. We just finished a big AI battle prompt. We had a competition between students keying the different prompts and creating an AI driven visuals and animations. And but at the end of the day, it becomes really important that students have to remember to still connect with people and connect with them emotionally. So they have to also appreciate art from other cultures, see themselves as part of society, and have this desire to contribute and connect. So that would be maybe the main focus right now of teaching here in Singapore, the NTU.
Amazing, thank you so much. And let's take a little step back. How did you even get into AI? I mean, is it something that you've always been interested since it's the birth of AI, or is it something more recent?
It was recent. I mean, of course, I observed the works by people that are using AI. I mean, it's not novel thing. It's predominantly used to accumulate all the data, information, and then stream it and create visuals. I'm talking about Graphic Canada Art Studio. But in recent days, in recent year, just a year ago, prompt-based or text-based inputs into AI models that can create visuals became fascinating. My partner, Mark Chavez, really inspired me. And as I was watching him work, I realized, oh my gosh, the tools are becoming so accessible and they are developing every day. So I should definitely bring it into class. And I don't want to take too much of the time, but it was the first time ever that the course couldn't be really planned strategically week by week. Every week things were changing. So that's something, but again, we can get really carried away by bells and whistles of technology. But some of the pieces, we had the exhibition on last Monday, some of the pieces brought me to tears because you forget that they are done by AI. You are exploring their stories and personal narratives, and it really becomes irrelevant how it's made, how the works are made.
Absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much. And you mentioned this AI art jam. Can you just tell the audience a little bit of how does that even work?
Well, we saw it. Originally, I just wanted to screen the works, get the students to develop the work, and then before, we saw this big competition in Berlin. They had live, so the two people are sitting behind the monitors, and we put the so-called DALI open AI model. So you just, the DALI prompt you the screen and you input your text. So what we did, we had basic themes, really broad themes like relationships, various key trigger words, and then from there both students or both parties would come up with what to add on to get the better visual. So we had the students from Royal College from Global Innovation Design Program, and we had the students from Ansbach from Germany, so they all took part, and we would give the maybe 60 seconds or a few minutes time because the images are generated really fast. So then with the switcher, which I was so glad my students able to help me with that, with the switcher we would put them on a big screen, split the screen, and we would vote, and who get the best applause was the winner. So it was really fun. It was really fun.
It sounds amazing. Thank you so much. And just like to kind of now quickly move to Chao Jiaxing. I mean, as a curator, I'm sure you're observing these like AI trends and that kind of stuff. And these kind of, how is that going to affect the Asian and global markets, do you think? And do you also have a viewpoint of your own on AI art?
Yes, in my opinion, actually the most obvious change this year is due to the pandemic. All the interaction and the watching in the art industry we have been used to believed has been moved to online. So which is including the younger generation, especially the collector, start to discover the artist online and some social media, including the Instagram, the most obvious change. And also it's kind of a challenge for the gallerist. It's very hard for them to really to initiate a new format to absorb their audience, especially before the pandemic. For example, in China, all the activity in the art industry have been driven by the attention economic. So how we keep this attention continuously is kind of a biggest challenge for the gallerist. And also I think is as the frontline practitioner, they have this kind of duty to discover new way to consistent all the very experimental artists and with all the participator in the art community, how to continuously to develop. That was what I think.
Amazing, interesting. And in China, are you seeing many artists kind of turning to things like Midjourney, DALI, or even is there a Chinese version of these types of AI art generators?
Yes, in China, actually, yes, it's due to some political issue and also some issue driven by the globalization, and some young artists start to initiate some online webinar, online symposium to cover the topics most important. But actually due to some interpreter offer the political problems, some art market not art market art fail sometimes be disturbed by some reality. So we had to move to online to build some AI version meeting like this.
And but as a curator, do you think that is it going to change your viewpoint on a piece of art if the artist says, yes, I have generated this piece of art using AI perhaps as my inspiration, and then when I took that piece and then I made it my own, does it change the way that a curator might look at this piece of art, do you think?
It's for curator, actually, I have no idea about it. I don't know it's positive or negative. It's, to some extent, it's when there a new function like influence today's art like watching is, for example, the younger generation collector no longer like based on the historical context to praise arts. That's most the challenge for us, is because as a curator, you should really to like using a comprehensive of understanding of the historical context and also the social context. So I don't know. It's so far I cannot like conduct some very like audience like features to suggest for the young generations or the like artists in the industry. But we should try. Maybe all the crises happened recently can't be a new chance for us to continuously to think about. And what is most important like changing recently? For example, in the East Asia, some like artists have been challenged by the how do you say the living crisis. It's like some like artists that start to like had a like a temporary job is in the university to earn their living and to support their practices. Yes, so yeah,
amazing. So interesting what the, all these new kind of tools and how they potentially are going to change the way that again art is made. I mean, we've already been experiencing how technology has changed the way we produce and consume art in recent years, and AI is just yet another one here. I mean, when I was looking at the work of Mark Chavez, who is Conradi's partner, and blown away by the fact that he's even going beyond AI art generating and now moving into AI movies. So scraping the all of the audiovisual content out there and kind of putting it together, which is mind-blowing in relation to how even if that's not the end output that movie you're going to put out there, it can absolutely be used as the kind of like prototype or an ideas sharing, much more than if I was just to say, oh, hello, I've got an idea for a movie, and I'm going to explain it to you in words, or some kind of storyboards and kind of like flat images. Far better to kind of perhaps use that AI engine to kind of try to make a little prototype that brings to life your idea. I think it's going to be an incredibly powerful tool. We're just at the beginning of it, and I'm going to be really interested to see what happens in all of the different markets, because obviously at the moment Midjourney, DALL-E, they're all using English prompts. So what will happen in the markets of China, what will happen in the markets of India, et cetera, and so on, and we're also already starting to hear of stories where artists are actually being asked to sell their keywords, which is like mind-blowing in terms of, people are like, oh, how do I come up with the right string of words that's then going to lead me into to kind of what I'm looking for. And perhaps then that's potentially alongside, other things that we're already, been talking about in the mainstream media, like NFTs, maybe that's yet another revenue stream for artists who are really good at AI generative art, So there's all of these new technologies. It's absolutely fascinating what is going to kind of come in the next few years as we move into this kind of, more Web3 world, metaverse world, and all these new technologies getting into the hands of lots and lots of different people. So I just want to thank you so much, Charjot. I want to move to Uni Krishna now, who joins us from India, and you have a huge range of experiences as a graphic designer, design communications. You're a massive active proponent of the NFT space. And I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on balancing kind of popular consumer culture versus finding your authentic voice as an artist? And I'd also love for you to touch on a little bit about your own journey. How have you come into this space of the digital realm?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this session. Thank you, Ina, and thank you, Xiao, for your valuable inputs. I have really had some absorbed your observations over there. Yeah, my journey is basically, I'm coming from a traditional, physical background of visual art. I'm coming from the, well before the internet era, and then passing through the internet, and then coming and standing in the, in front of the gate of excellence of AI, and coming whatever. I don't know what is going to happen now. So yeah, I'm basically as you said, I have studied graphic design in college in Trivandrum in India, and I moved on to advertising, and then moved on to publishing, and moved into marketing in the corporate environment. So all this journey, I have used basically my visual art concepts, visual art sensibilities. Basically, I have applied it all over these places. But in the beginning, there was not much of possibilities, because everything was very physical. So when I think when the first iPad came in, I got into this and I bought one, and there was no Apple Pencil those times. So there was something called, I forgot the name of that tool. It was kind of a pencil, but it was a flat one. So I started doing, using that and drawing it, but there was no Instagram those days. I think, probably, or I was not aware of. But then I got into this. When the internet came in, I have been to all these graphic design blogs, and I got into in connection with SVA groups and in a School of Visual Arts in New York. And I came to know about this 100 days projects. So 100 days projects, basically, if I think everyone knows about this, including our audience, it's basically started by two professors in SVA to their students to make them activate every day, coming up with something similar to motivate them to be working continuously for 100 days. So this got into idea, and then they passed it on to the students, and the students became professors, and then it continued. And two artists came up with this and the idea, and they started sharing this in the Instagram, and I started producing my own 100 days. So what you see in this picture, actually, it's a project based on 100 days, actually. So all those drawings were made on iPad, and by the time I got my Apple Pencil also, because this is done in 2018, what you see in this visual. So I got into that, and then I never looked back. It was always going with with the Mac environment, playing with the pixels, pushing the pixels always. Almost all the days. And parallel, I was also doing physical artwork, like on canvas and paper and charcoal, everything. So yeah, the journey of the physical to from physical to pixel to digital space, as we call it now, was a smooth transition, actually. And being in the corporate, you should have this kind of educational background, even though you have educated in a digital professional background. But I'm a good what do you call transferred into this medium very smoothly, so I could survive, actually. So it was a question of survival also, because you know it in this world of tough times, you have to be informed, not just knowledge, but it should be in a practical knowledge. So you have to be there with this changing times. So that's why I'm actually, when Ina and Choy said about the AI, I'm actually practicing now DALL-E 2 and Midjourney. I'm trying to innovate with my own the way of how to get my style with the AI. That's what I'm trying now. I'm not successful at because I've been trying and my paid limit, without paid limit is almost over in DALL-E 2.
Yeah, that's the catch. You have to keep paying. Yeah, that's the catch.
Now I am thinking whether I should go for the paid one and then experiment it, because you also I found it very interesting, because first of all, being not an English speaker
Yes.
you also develop your English skills at the same time, how to prompt. how to
Yes.
prompt. So this is basically a very interesting times which we are going through, and then I think I'm really enjoying it. Probably I may succeed, but even though we are succeed or not, the journey, the process which we are going
Yes.
through is important. So let's go through that. So what Kay was asking about the what do you call the popular culture and the authentic voice which you are trying to get into this digital era. Yeah, basically, if you look at graphic design as a whole, it's a functional purpose. It is not just a design matter, or it is not just a color or any other thing, but it is purely functional. And if you look at the popular culture, social media is a popular culture, and what do you call newspapers, social media, graphic design, all these things very much influencing this generation. The social currency basically is a prestigious thing now, because whether you are popular in social media or not. So yeah, I mean, I don't know the line between these graphic design or the popular culture and the the digital what do you call digital the voice of my digital transition in this, which I am still trying to get a right pathway actually. So it's a journey, and it is never going to end. That's what I think.
Fascinating. Thank you so much. I stick with you just a little bit because I
Yeah.
know that you've also dived into a little bit of the world of NFTs.
Yes.
So can you share a little bit about what you've been doing there? And I must say to the audience as well, you're all like young, digital artists, emerging, established, but look at the age of the people on this call. I mean, I'm 43, right? And these are, we are not spring chickens, and we are all actually diving into this world with, both feet and just really going for it. So I hope it really inspires you that actually, that there's an awful lot to kind of get on board with and get excited by, and you just got to keep just diving and get going and try it for yourself.
You're absolutely right, Kay, because why I'm here, because of it is purely of the generation which I am mingling through. One morning, which I don't know, it is in last February. I have this habit of reading online newspapers. So I got some news says somebody sold one image, a JPEG, for 69 billion. So I never knew who was it, and the news came in, and there was a whole continuous story every day. And then we know this is a person called people, and then that is the thing. And then I was talking to my son. He is 19 that year, last year. So he's saying, yeah, this is possible. Then we used to talk about this, and then my son inspired me the same way the NFT crowd over in the digital space inspired me a lot. So I've been in this space for almost to I think probably 17 months, 16 months. But the journey is exciting as ever. It keeps on changing, but at the same time, it is you are getting a world market opened for you wherever you are living, irrespective of wherever you are living. The only thing you need is a computer or a mobile phone, and your way to do things and process it. Yeah, but at the same time, I just wanted to say that this always I say that when especially the young children, if they are not earning by themselves, especially in the I don't use the word third world country, I use the word developing countries. So if at all we are living in this area, you have to tell your parents that if you are not earning, you have to tell your parents that you are you are going to try something with NFT, because you have to pay some money, right? So this is this I always say this, And because parents, probably some parents, they don't understand what is NFT and why I need money to, do this process. So people don't understand, parents don't understand that. So I tell them, you convince your grandma or grandfather at your place, what is NFT is. So this is the, if we can tell them, then you can tell to, you can be with this, to everyone. So this is what I always say this. But now I think they understand this, what is NFT, at least a generic idea about what is NFT is, yeah, as an artist, if you look at it, my way of progressing with this, now I came to know a lot about in the marketplaces, how this has been having. And these days I feel NFT is not an art. I mean, don't get offended, but I am saying this, but there are, if you look at some places, okay, the NFT is probably an art, but some places it is not an art. Coming to think of, Sotheby's and Christie's, and, they're already giving spaces for NFT art. So that way you can see that there is a change, is a progressive change happening in the art space. So I'm not sure how it is going, but my complaint about the NFT space is that I have to spend a lot of time in the social media, which is taking a hell of a lot of time of my studies, my working time, my cohabiting time with my family and friends. So this is really, a problem. So you have to also learn about how to sell your product. That way I don't, this is my open opinion as an artist. I don't like to sell it, So this is a problem with the artist also always, because I am coming from the traditional background to a commercial background. You go to a gallery, you don't speak about your work in a selling manner, even though I was in a corporate background selling things, but that is a business. But art, probably it is very difficult to consider as a business, but when it comes to NFT, it is a product at times and most times. So this is actually a struggle I am facing myself. This probably, I don't know how all of you are facing and the audience. So this is always a struggle probably. I don't know where to stop. So this is
fascinating. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think that is really interesting. What the point that you bring up about this kind of opportunity for this global digital patronage in a way, right? They just kind of bring in your fans and that kind of stuff, but at what cost? Because if you're spending an awful lot of time kind of on social media trying to kind of sell it all the time, where does that leave time for your actual art making? So it's all a balance, isn't it? So yeah, I'm absolutely coming to you, Chad. I think I'd love to hear from what you think about that. But also, I've got a question from the audience as well, which I think is great for you, in relation to what is the future of curated art shows featuring digital art, quite aside from, it doesn't have to be AI art or NFT art, but just generally in terms of digital art. But I'd love you to also respond to Uni Krishna as well.
Yeah, I want to respond to both this question and also like a unique question. It's actually talk about like commercials. I should relate to the question is in the future, like as a curator, we do have been like dealing with a lot of digital artists, not just like create a digital space, and also like dealing with the concept. It's like a new like concept in the digital art field. But it's refer to your question is refer to some NFT art and NFT art, sorry, NFT art. Yes, it's having like a big challenges for the like a gallerist. Is a lot of galleries that have been like driven by the new concept to like promote more the young more and more the like artists to give the right of agencies to them, because actually some like a young generation that have like a expert skill to selling their artworks through the social media, and they do spend a lot of times on the social media, and the ZMs they as artists they conduct some new function to really like a challenge the traditional commercial market. So I could like make an example to comparable this phenomena. Some like new phenomena that happen in China is quite like extreme. You can see some interactions between artists and the collector have been beyond the gallery, such as through a format of art festival. Yes, however, like because the lack of the exhibition opportunity of some young artists, that they had to like promote artists to dealing with the experimental space, such as the art festival, very interesting like a space as a white cube. So they seriously to face those like experimental space to build a very like seriously art pieces, art object. Like in my opinion, this kind of challenge to galleries to like those kind of frontline practitioners to make themselves be not absent in this like a period, and to make more creative service. It's perhaps those kind of challenge have been like during the birth of NFT art. Yeah.
Amazing. And
okay, that's my feedback.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And do you think that there is, or has there already been a rise in the number of people who are interested in China in buying digital art?
I don't think a lot of people is interested in buy digital art, because
not
like
at the moment.
Yes, like for some advice to like a perspective is digital art is kind of for documents. In the future, with the development of the technique, you can decode the like nature of the digital art, but it's just most of the people don't have so long visions to the futures. Then most of the like people like just face on what's happened recently. Yes, that's a reality. So I think yes, still like just a small population like focus on so kinds of like avant-garde media.
Been very interesting. Thank you so much. And Ina, in relation to what Chao Jianxing was saying, like, and then obviously perhaps not so much in China yet. It could happen, but it hasn't really happened yet. But in relation to what you're seeing as well, perhaps more from the kind of Southeast Asian perspective, you're based in Singapore. What do you think that, you know, artists now should be trying to focus on to perhaps differentiate yourselves? Do you think that, you know, digital art is going to become something that people all around the world will absolutely get behind and want to buy and sell from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so bad with commercial aspect of you know, the digital art. I'm not really the best one to talk about it, but, you know, art is definitely a way to communicate to people's various thoughts and ideas. And it's very similar to music, you know, it always is trying to connect us with emotions, and it kind of lights up some part of our brain and takes us away to different places. So same thing, visual art, in particular digital art, is facilitating, you know, this new type of communication. So I would go back to that, you know, original statement that I made, that it's really becomes important that in no matter what tools, what ways of digital, you know, aspects involved, that we connect predominantly emotionally with each other, and in that case, because it's so easy today, you know, even with AI and in NFTs, it's so easy to create and do stuff, but what do one creates, and what is the message, and what is, I think that will be most important. Really, what do we communicate, and what do we you know, how we connect with other people. So that's gonna be, you know, at the moment when we forget that it's NFT, or we forget that it's commercial, I think it'll be really meaningful.
So interesting. And are you finding that some of the students that you work with are dabbling in NFTs at all? Yes.
We had a really successful student. I mean, it's a short story. I'll try to be short. Well, we had a student, Mark Yap. He was over the summer, I believe it was 2021, he was very depressed because he didn't get into his favorite internship company, and so he just started creating artworks. And then beginning of the semester, with August 2021, I asked him, well, what are you doing? Can you join my class? He says, yeah, sure. I'm working on a zodiac theme, zodiac inspired theme of collection of zodiac Chinese zodiac characters, and they launched it and they sold everything. He partnered with some friends, and you know, it was funny because he was in my class and I knew that they are launching it over the weekend. So he came to my class and I was really afraid to ask him. So what, you know, he was looking very tired and I was like, oh, he probably didn't sell anything, or did the whole thing collapse. And he told me very quietly, I sold everything and we sold everything. And but it's basically, he was the first one and he was trying to get people on board at that time, but everybody was very suspicious and nervous. And it just takes really a courage and kind of looking ahead. And now what we are doing with AI, and not only AI, but any new tools, is just to introduce people to know that these tools will, by the time they are in their mid-careers, these tools will be much more advanced. So just to elevate the fear of new and, you know, to try. And I also have examples of students who, thanks to the dabbling in OpenAI and stuff, we're able to quickly get commissions to do, because they would quickly come up with a proposal of creative ideas. So they don't necessarily need to use only AI. They can, you know, use other tools, but they gave them really fast response to the brief, to clients. So that's really, that's the way to use it. You know, I remember when I was a student, I would go to a library, you know, at UCLA in 80s, and I would bury myself, look through the books. Now, you know, AI can access millions and millions of images, that millions and millions of artists. It's just that, of course, not to abuse it and not to mention other artists' names. There is a lot of controversy about that. Hopefully people will more look into prompt design and idea and concept, rather than just, you know, borrowing from other artists. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. Eliminating the fear of the new is great.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So what we're going to do now, thank you so much, panelists, for your answers so far. I'm going to just share a few more details of two things that are coming up that I want to share. So first, there is some virtual programming coming up, which you should all be aware of. We're going to be opening up this to the people that have actually signed up for phase 1, and which is just to literally submit your portfolio using the Julius Baer website. You can go in, and if you're successful, then you'll get through to the next round. And then you'll be interested to know that you can come on to the, the virtual programming first slide. Yes, this one. Perfect. So there's going to be different sessions here that you can come on board, and it's just going to be virtual like this. We're going to be able to deep dive into some other really awesome topics, for example, going digital, programming a miracle, and then there's a new aesthetic, what it means to be human through AI and art. You'll see me doing some creative entrepreneurship in a digital age as well. I think we've also just have another one confirmed for augmented reality by Artivive founder Sergio as well. So there's some really, really amazing things to get on board with as well. Then further than that, we have the 3-month art and tech accelerator program. So this is for the winners, and the 6 winners will be chosen from the people from phase 2 who have been submitted their actual concepts. And the concept really is just, you know, what's my idea, and some sketches, or some, even if you wanted to use an AI art generator to kind of, you know, bring your concept to life. And then the winners will be working alongside our amazing mentors to go through, and over the course of 3 months, be able to kind of like think about how can I, for example, work with Uni Krishna. If I'm really interested in NFTs, perhaps he can guide me. He can share with me more about his journey, etc. So we've got some really cool topics, for example, as you can see here. So Uni Krishna is going to be thinking about how we can intersect digital art, design, and sciences, and give those perspectives from an artist, okay? And then Chao Jiaoxing is going to think about new audiences, new narratives in contemporary art, perspectives from the curator side of things, right? So, and Ina Conradi, reimagining new and mixed media. We weren't joined here today by Sergi, but as I mentioned before, he's going to be doing covering the AR side of things. He's also diving heavily into Web3 because you can now mint an NFT through Artivive as well at the click of a button. And then finally, Audrey Yo as well is going to be joining us, and she's going to be covering navigating the business of contemporary art in Asia. So some really, really amazing diverse topics there that you're going to be able to dive into, but you've got to be in it to win it. So you've got to make sure that you get your submission in by the 27th of November, okay? And as I said at the beginning, this is just phase one, really simple. Just pop your details in, put your portfolio in, and then we're going to be diving in and taking a look. Okay, so I wanted to kind of start towards wrapping up a little bit, but also just to kind of come back round to our amazing mentors. You know, the mentors are going to be working alongside the winners, not to influence the artist's final piece in any particular way, but just to kind of have that person alongside you who can be like, oh, I'm really interested in AI. Oh, now I have access to Ina, and Ina can then actually kind of perhaps answer some of my questions and guide me in a way. So kind of really that guiding and advising function, right? They're not going to be sitting with you going like, oh, I don't like the way you've put that blue square there. It's not about that, okay? So it's just about giving you that kind of like a nice warm blanket to kind of go with you on your journey as you dive into this digital realm, okay? So I'd love to kind of circle back round, and maybe we start with Unikrishna. So, you know, what are your hopes for the mentor program, and what do you hope to be able to kind of impart to the winners as we go on this journey together?
Well, as I said earlier, coming from a physical, background to digital, and probably I have, I'm not claiming much, but I have seen a lot of, visuals, including from the, color plates in the 80s when we are coming from as Ina said, from the college libraries to, Google searches, So we have seen a lot probably compared to the participants coming to participate here. So probably that may be my strength. So when people come and ask something, you can be sure that they should be comfortable with me, and they can ask any questions. They can I can tell whatever I have learned from all these years of experiences in the college and in my visual journey, it's still continuing, and my corporate communication background. So this is probably the best which I can do, that using my time to spend with the coming generation of creative content creators and creative people. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited actually, to see how it is going to be, and what all the the themes which they are choosing, and it's a medium which which it's a democratic medium, so people should be free to create and then share, and then we can all have a great time together, and it is going to be great, I'm sure.
Awesome, thank you so much. And Chao Jiaoxing, how about you? What do you hope to put into and perhaps get out yourself from this mentoring journey?
Actually, it's by major, essentially actually far from digital art, but this time is very like a treasure times to let me to think about how to like initiate another story is relate to the artificial art and also the NFT art. It might be a very new perspective to the older audience. So like I cannot really predict all the like a further step, but it's every like step can be like a very exciting for me. So yes, and for the audience, like I think they could like driven more like a question for me. It can be very like a organic way to let me to think about how the context could be like around the digital art. We usually have very like a stubborn like understanding of a digital art or the NFA art. It's always gonna be like a media art, or it's gonna be like a very commercial art in the social media like this. It's all like a cliche like idea. So it's this time would be like a very new like how to say the chance for me to like explain that clearly and also bring a new like thinking towards it. Yeah.
Super, thank you. And finally, Ina.
Well, I you know, Singapore is a big port, and there is so much goods are traveling through this city, and there is I think there's a misconception that art is also commodity that you can just kind of get from somewhere else. My biggest excitement about this competition or prize is that you are focusing on Southeast Asia, you're focusing on China. I'm so excited to see, you know, the talent, and I'm seeing the questions in your questions that are coming by the audience, and machines are not going to replace artists. Machines are built by people, so they are as smart only as much stuff we feed them. And yeah, so no worries about that. There is no, you know, AI robots coming in that will be replacing artists in no time soon. Yeah.
So thank you so much. Yes, I think there were a couple of ones I've tried to answer in the chat as well about digital photography. And I think we've covered what we're going to learn on the accelerator as well. So I think, yeah, and sadly, we're at 1:15, and doesn't time fly when you're having fun? So yeah, thank you so much to our amazing panelists, Ina, Chowjating and Yuni Krishna, for your time today. If you do have any other questions at all, please do feel free to reach out through the Julius Baer website, and please do get your submissions in. We're less than 10 days away, and you know, we really welcome you and look forward to working with you on this amazing mentoring journey as well. So I wish you a very, very happy Friday indeed, and I look forward to all your submissions. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Take care.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ina.
happy
Thank you,
weekend.
Jai.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.